I'm Tom Mealy. Welcome to another edition of the Long Island View.
When you go to Madhouse TV, like it's that one? Okay, cool, because that's the one I've been posting.
Welcome to the Long Island View. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something new today. I have a new co-host, and with me is Joyce Philbin Collier. Joyce, it's a privilege and a pleasure to have you.
It's a privilege to be
My
here.
new partner in
Yes.
crime, right?
Yes.
We're gonna conquer the world.
Yes.
Conquer the world.
We're going to do this.
So it's I actually like the idea of male female bouncing different ideas and thoughts off of each other, and I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. Thank you very much for having me.
It's great having you. So what do you want to start with? I'm like,
How about our guest?
well, we gotta talk a bit, you know.
Oh, okay.
I just want the world to know who you are.
Okay.
So just give us a little quick Reader's Digest
Okay.
scenario of
Well, I'm an actor. I'm a publisher. I'm an author. I am a mom. That's my favorite role in the whole world. And I'm looking forward to doing this.
There you go. Sounds good to me. Well, again, give me 5 and off we go. All right, in the studio with us tonight is an up-and-coming artist that I've had the privilege of listening to her CD, and I actually know her through a very, very dear friend of mine, Tim Malley, and so I really, really can't wait to talk to our guest, Miss E.J. Carey.
Hi, thank you.
E.J., welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
There's actually nothing more that I enjoy. I mean, I have my other show that I have the biggest artists in the world on, and but there's nothing more I enjoy than to bring someone new and an up and coming person. And I mean, we're actually live throughout the world right now, and so I mean, not many people get that shot, and I'd love to be able to give someone that shot. And from listening to your CD, you're definitely worthy of that, and I'm really, really pleased to introduce you to the world.
Thank you so
So,
much for the opportunity. This is pretty
It's-
cool. Hi,
it's
world.
great.
It's me.
So,
Well-
partner, what do you got?
Why don't you first tell us where you're from?
I am from Northport, which is a good 20-minute drive
Long
from
Island
here.
girl.
Long
Yes.
Island, that's me. Long
Born and
Island
bred.
forever. I graduated from Harvard Fields High School. I went to Berklee College of Music. I've been
Oh, really?
writing forever as a songwriter, and I just put out my album Loaded Question in January, and now I'm out promoting that album, and I'm here.
Well, hey, look where you're starting. I mean,
The best.
this is it, man. So now, being a musician myself, and I'm also a singer, and I played every club you could ever imagine in theater that you could imagine on Long Island, in the city, and everywhere else. What are some of the venues that you're playing at?
I am playing at 89 North in Patchogue in May on the 27th. I'm opening for Paul Brown and the Killing Devils, who I am also a good friend of.
I just before I'm not cutting you off, but I want to just tell you, have you been there before?
I have not. I've seen pictures. I haven't been.
It is. Make sure you have a photographer there because it's like one of the greatest places to get photos and videos.
It looks really, really
the
cool.
Stage, the sound, it's really, the owner's a great guy. It's real. I just played there a month ago.
That's
with
so
my
cool.
band, and I played there a couple times, but I'm telling you, make sure you have a great photographer there because you're not going to get any better in the island than that with the lighting and everything.
I'm going to get it hooked up. I
Yeah.
got it.
And how would you
great place.
describe the music that you perform?
It's definitely pop rock. I would say it's kind of like Christina Aguilera meets Paramore meets Rascal Flatts. So I have a little bit of influence from everywhere. I've got a little bit of country influence. I have a little bit of pop punk. I have a little bit of R&B, and if you mix it all together, you kind of get E.J. Carey.
And what is your inspiration? I understand you're a songwriter. Where do you draw your inspiration from?
A lot of it is emotional sort of stuff. I write definitely from my gut. I write how I feel. I don't particularly sugarcoat how I feel ever. It's never.
Don't ever do that.
No, it's never accusatory, but it's definitely like cathartic in a way. Like if I'm frustrated or if I'm sad or if I'm happy, even like it's a really great outlet for me to be able to write.
That's what music is. It can make you sad. It can make you happy. It can make you cry. It can make you laugh. It can make you fall in love. It can make you make love. it has everything. I mean, that's the great thing about music, and that's why the avenues touch everyone. Everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. If you don't like music in some sort, you're deaf, I guess. I mean, really. But I mean, with what's out there now, who would you compare your actual self? I mean, you just named 3 or 4 different people, but who do you really feel is like your closest to what you're doing?
I feel like I have a pretty individual sound, which is why I kind of bring 3 or 4 names in. I think the closest name I could name is probably Kelly Clarkson, because she's so versatile. Like, she did the R&B thing in the beginning, and then she was like the biggest punk pop star ever, and then she did a country album. So I kind of feel like I identify closest with her.
And congratulations to her. She just had her baby.
I know. Did
Oh,
you
did
see
she?
her
Yes.
on American Idol?
Yeah.
She was incredible.
I thought she was
Yes.
going to have it that night.
I know.
That was so emotional and so beautiful, for her to have really gone there,
Yeah.
and really brought the audience to
That
a
was the show
special place.
before that. That was the one before that. The finale, she also came out,
Oh.
and I thought she was actually going to have this kid on the show.
Pretty close. That was like a week ago.
Yeah.
What you said though, I'm a soul singer, and I like when, to me, and I study singers. I met most of them. I mean, I was at Woodstock. I seen Janis. I've seen all the best in the world, and I'm a studier of, not so much to copy or cop any of their stuff, but I love to watch a singer sing, and I can tell when they're for real and they're taking me on a journey. Because if I don't feel you, you're not taking me. I'm not with you.
Absolutely.
Like, I want to feel your guts and blood pouring out of your body. And you did mention that before, which made me very happy that you did, because that is what, to me, in my opinion, is lacking so much in today's music. Although I have been very, very, I got to tell you, I love the voice. I really do. Because first of all, I love the blind stuff that they don't see who they're picking. I love that, because nobody should ever be judged by what they look like.
Right.
Nobody. So I love that. I love the camaraderie, but I love to watch them come along. But I love how when you can tell, and if you watch even any of those singing shows, but more so on that show. I mean, that show, they have some incredible artists on that show. And when you get goosebumps in that, and you can feel, I mean, I've cried watching some. That's what I want to feel. That's what I want to feel. I could tell when it's that fake, and I won't mention any names, but we all know who they are. With that poppy stuff that's with the auto-tune and wah, 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 that kind of, I'm not with that journey, and it's nice to hear someone young saying that, you write from what you feel, so it's easier to transport that to the audience because it's real. It's
Right.
not like
And the voice
you're
is
not
the
living it
instrument
through
as
someone
opposed-
else,
yes.
it's something that actually happened with you, which is great, what the great part about being a singer, songwriter.
Right,
Not just a
definitely.
singer
Right.
singing other people's
That you can
writings.
make that
'cause-
connection to
yeah.
the song and make it, something that you can emote.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
I definitely still identify as a pop artist, though, and I love pop music. Like, pop
Yeah.
music is my go-to, my everything. But I write pop music, and I like, people like Christina Aguilera. Like, I don't know if she writes for herself now, but she definitely did in the beginning, and she's got such an incredible voice. So I definitely think that there's definitely an art form to just being able to interpret a song that somebody else has, but being able to have the God-given gift to kind of being able to articulate my feelings in such a way that other people can relate to it is just so, I'm very lucky that I'm able to do
And
that.
do you write about relationships?
Yeah, I mean, none of the relationship-esque songs on my album are about any actual.
It seems to have done a Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I was going
Quite
to
a-
say it's worked for her.
Yeah, no, she's a very successful
I
woman.
mean, I'll say it right out. I don't get it. I mean, it's not my, and believe me, I think she's a great songwriter. I mean, it's not.
It's catchy tunes.
I mean,
it's
I
not
can
anything,
understand young girls loving it. I can understand
Yeah.
it. I get that.
And she's doing a lot better than I am right now, so
Yeah.
she's doing
A lot better
something.
than
It's-
everybody within a mile of here is doing, if you put them all together, I guess. But it's a great thing though when you sing with your soul.
Absolutely.
It's a great thing, and it can be pop, it can be opera, it could be any genre of music. It could be anything, as long as I know that you're real. I'm with you. You know, I mean,
And my-
not that I'm an opera guy, but you know, even opera, I can get tears in my
Oh,
eyes
sure.
from listening to that stuff. You know,
I used to get tears in my eyes when I used to sing like arias at school because I had to learn classical when I went to school. And sometimes you're just like you're hearing yourself interpret a song that's like so deep, and all the ones in foreign languages that I don't understand outright. Like once you learn the meanings behind them, all the Italian operas are all like they're just so sad and so emotional. And once you really get wrapped up in it, you're like, wow, this is really deep, and it's kind of cool to be.
Now,
able
have
to-
you always had from a young age, bring us through, like, have you always had a tremendous amount of support along the way? Has there been challenges that you had to sort of
because
overcome?
it has become an ugly, ugly business.
Yes.
You know what? As long as I keep positive energy, I can't really let what anybody says get in my way. I mean, if somebody doesn't like my music, that's fine. It's happened before. And it's kind of, it's an uncomfortable feeling to read something ugly or to hear something ugly, but if you don't,
Tell me about it.
if you don't give it enough energy, it just kind of rolls off
When
your
you get
shoulders.
to be around our age, you really don't care.
First of all,
Take a
I
number.
actually said this yesterday. Usually a hater is usually somebody that hates you because
Right.
they want to be like you, but they can't be.
Or they hate something about themselves and
Yeah,
they're projecting
well, they're
it onto
definitely
you.
they're
Yes.
definitely angry at themselves because you don't lash out at anyone. I mean, that's like making fun of somebody mentally handicapped or something. You know, you just don't
You
do
can't
that.
lash out at people who are
'cause-
angry for a different reason.
I mean, because there's so many different kinds of music. I mean, like punk rock. I mean, I had the drummer from the Plasmatics on my show Sunday night. You know, I mean, amazing. I mean, that they're still so current. You know,
Right.
I mean, it has a long reach, music. You know, and as long as you keep doing what you believe in, what you're doing, you know, you can't go wrong. If you start getting advice from other people and getting misled, you know, I guess Mom over there will put a stop to that. But
You always have to follow your heart. You have to,
follow
if it-
your soul. Follow your soul, because it won't steer you wrong.
I'm
It
very
won't.
much a gut feeling person. Like
Good.
if I,
Good. That will guide you.
I trust my intuition a lot, and if I get a feeling like you shouldn't take that left, then I'm not going to take that left. If I don't feel like I should collaborate with a person, I'm not going to collaborate with a person. Like I really kind of trust what my gut tells me.
And how long did it take you to record the album?
It took a long time. It took. I started writing the album when I was. Some of the songs on the album are as old as when I was like 16. I'm 22 now. The album came out in January, but we were actively working on it for like 2 years. It took a really long time, just because I was coming back and forth from New York to Boston when I
sure.
was still in school. So I was really focused on trying to finish and trying to do everything all at once. So it took a good 2 years to record, but I'm really happy with how it came out, and I hope somebody
And
else
did
can
you
be happy
feel
about
a
it too.
different maturity level from when you started to when you finished the album because you had been through your studies and you had gained a lot more knowledge and a lot more experience and wisdom, hopefully,
Yeah.
from your professors?
Definitely. I mean, my life is so different from when it was when I was 16 or 19 or even 20. It's different than it was 2 years ago. And to kind of see these little timestamps in my life of how things used to be and to look back and be able to view it a little bit more objectively and see, like, that's how I felt then. And, sometimes I can still relate to, like, the anger or the sadness or whatever, but I hope that someone who is 16, who is sad, can relate to the song that I
Sure.
wrote when I was 16.
Let me ask you: some of the songs that you did write when you were 16, did you ever? I mean, did you go back and actually take some of them and rip them completely apart?
No.
No.
They're all pretty much how they were.
They're
Really?
authentic
Yeah.
to the time period.
Well, that's a good sign, because
Yeah.
that means to you they're still good. Because usually, that's what 6 years. That's a big difference.
I think some of the arrangements got ripped apart from what they originally were, like music-wise, but lyrics, form, it all pretty much stayed the same, which I don't know if that's right, but that's what I did.
Well,
And I've never,
Then it's right.
I guess so. It worked for me,
It's
but
right.
I know people do it all the time. I felt that it was right, so that was just how it went.
Yeah. And you mentioned Christina Aguilera, who I think is beyond incredible. Beyond incredible. I mean, I think she has one of the greatest Christmas albums around, too.
Yes.
Mhm, absolutely.
But,
We have everybody.
I mean, she actually got me to start singing It's a Man's World.
Really?
Yeah, because, I mean, she annihilated that song. Literally, her guts and blood were laying on the stage when she did that song. And I'll tell you, it's just, like Dana Fuchs actually got me doing, oh, God, I'd Rather Go Blind. I heard it from an angel. And I mean, it's not a guy's song, but Dana Fuchs is, to me, I think the greatest female blues artist alive right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I just had her on my show.
Wow.
And I love her. I love her spirit. I think she's absolutely a phenomenal singer. But talk about somebody that leaves it all on the stage and sings from her soul and her gut. I mean,
Well,
I
we
defy
just,
you to find anybody
down in
like
Florida, I just went to see Judy Collins, and it was a phenomenal show. And there are certain artists that have had this longevity through decades and decades, and so many changes in the world. Is there anything that you take with you as you go into the future to just continue to be relevant?
I think just kind of being able to say what I feel and hope that somebody else is going to relate to it, because I doubt that I'm the only person feeling angry today, or I'm the only person feeling frustrated today. And I'm not going to, somebody else 6 years from now is still going to be frustrated. And if I can relate, if I can write something that is essentially like a feeling that isn't a trend, then I feel like my music should, in theory, be able to last. Because if I write about like basic, relatable human emotions like, happiness, sadness, frustration, anger, like everybody's going to feel that, whether you're 10 or 82, everybody's going to feel like that.
Yep.
So what better way to kind of bring myself closer to other people than to write about things that everybody else can relate to?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you go back to the great, Judy Collins. I mean, go back to the great songwriters. I mean, they've been copied by thousands of people. Bob Dylan. The Beatles. It'll never go away. These songs will never go away. They'll never go away.
I went to a Beatles show down there too. It was like a Beatlemania type review, and they perform in Vegas, and the whole audience is just singing the songs, and the songs just live on and on.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. Like at the Judy Collins concert, I could not wipe the smile off of my face, because if you maintain that positive attitude, because she's just this light, on the stage, and she's
Carol King.
Okay, yep, Carol King, and
Janice Ian.
I think if you can maintain
I love Janice Ian. Love her.
You can last.
Yeah. And I mean, if this is the only album I ever make, then that's fine. I hope that's not the case, but I'm happy with it.
Now, see, you were already way ahead of me, because I've done a few albums, but I have not done an album, and I said before I die, I just want to do an album. I couldn't care less if one person bought it, but I want to be happy with it. I want to be happy with it, and I've yet to do that. But I am going to be recording in the city probably next week.
Nice.
That's exciting.
Very exciting.
With some incredible, world-known players, and it's
Wonderful.
going to be. So hopefully, maybe something will happen. But just don't let this business ever get you down, because just keep pushing, and if not anything else, you'll have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
if you're not
I'm an
having
old
fun.
guy already, and I still do it. I still do it. I love doing it. It's a different ball game now. I actually feel sad for a lot of the kids for many reasons. Number one, the venues really don't. Very few. 89 North just happens to be one of them that do care about the music. There's a few on the island. Farrell's over in Belmore. It's another place. But then there's a lot of these venues. They couldn't care less how good the band is. How many are you bringing in? How many people can you bring? How many people can you bring? Turn around and say, what are you doing as far as advertising for me, They don't even care anymore. It's a different game. And, in the 70s, you made 10 times the money than you do today in clubs.
Because I think the way that concerts made money back then is just very different, because now it's not, you have Ticketmaster, which changed everything. You don't just buy tickets from the venue anymore, and the amount of people that you bring into a venue is kind of how the venue makes money. It's like, how many people can you bring in that are 21 plus that are going to drink, and that's like how venues
but
turn
at the
out.
end of
Even
the
the
day,
drinking
it's
age
always
has
been
changed.
like
Exactly.
that. I mean, if you didn't bring people, you weren't playing there again. But now they dump it all on you. Like, it's sad. I mean, you got to do something too. It's not a one-way street. But back in the older days, there wasn't that many bands. There was a lot of bands, but not like now. I mean, now, my God. I mean, and every kid has a recording studio in their pocket.
Right.
It's a different world. It's a different world, and it's a
And how do
very
you
difficult
prevent,
business.
as a publisher, I have a lot of problems with copyright infringement.
Yeah.
How do you prevent people downloading your stuff without paying for it and circulating
That's
it
another
without?
thing too.
Yeah.
I just don't get that. I don't get that anyone could take anyone's music for free.
You know,
All the time.
it's
Right.
And
I know.
the movies, the same thing. They have the bootleg movies, you know.
I think a lot of people don't understand the way that like artists or anything artistic or anything entertainment makes money. I don't think they get that like a piece of intellectual property only makes money through a certain type of avenue. And because, you know, ever since, 10, 15 years ago when like the internet became a thing, we were able to share music. Everybody thought they were doing a good thing by sharing their music with everybody, but then that meant that less people were buying. And I think it's evened out a little bit more now. But I think the value of somebody's work is regarded less because there's not a physical copy in your hand. It's easy to just rip something off of online and not think about it again.
Right.
But that's like
No,
a
but-
couple
but
dollars out of somebody's pocket.
I think the question is, why do they even have access to it? Like, why should someone be, you could just go in and download anything. off
Because
of-
the internet is an animal that has grown and nobody has really taken control and really knows how to.
It's the Wild West.
Yes,
It's the Wild West.
it's a new frontier.
Yeah.
It also brings a lot of people together, and a lot of people make connections through music, through the internet. And I know that I wouldn't know half the music I know if it wasn't for the internet.
Well,
My life would be drastically different.
I could tell you, I don't usually watch YouTube clips, from people that, but by accident, somebody wanted to friend me, and now I check because, everybody doubles a name and you get ripped, it's a fake name. And so I always kind of like check it and to see. And there was just one thing, and I don't know what made me go into this YouTube clip, but for some reason I hit it, and I discovered this band. I thought they were from Europe. So I just wrote them a thing, because I've seen it all. I've never seen anything like this in my life, ever. And I just wrote, I said, if you're ever in New York, I'd love to have you come on my show. And the guy wrote back immediately, and he went, well, we're from Brazil, but, our manager's in Miami. Could he call you? I was like, sure. And he called me, and now, when the world sees this, they won't even believe it. It's incredible. But let's get back to you. You have a big gig coming up at 89 North.
I do. I'm
and,
really
and
excited.
that's when again?
May 27th. It's a Friday.
May 20. What time you go on?
I go on at 8. Doors at 7. 21 plus.
Perfect time. That's another thing. It used to be go on at 11, and
Yes.
now people at 12 o'clock. It's like everybody's home. It's
A
crazy.
lot of places have curfew too, but out here it's a little bit more lenient. Like I know in like Massachusetts, curfew is like you have to be done at 11:30. But
I know,
out here,
I couldn't believe when I lived there and they said last call, I was like, really?
I understand. Trust me.
So,
You're kidding.
well, I want to just ask one more question. What is the album outside of anything that you've worked on that you've played the most of any other album in your life?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know. But there's got to be one, your go-to. There's got to be one that you've played more than anything else.
It's gotta be probably. This is gonna sound so cheesy. There's a Rascal Flatts Greatest Hits CD, and I think that's one of them. And then Paramore's Brand New Eyes, which was I think their third album. I played that a million times over and over again. And like probably the soundtrack to Dreamgirls is probably the biggest one.
Hey, that's
Good
I
selection.
love Jennifer
yeah.
Hudson.
Yes.
Dreamgirls, watching Dreamgirls as like a 12-year-old white girl was like the biggest thing that had ever happened to me. I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
It was.
And like it was a Broadway play before it was a movie,
Right.
but once I saw the movie, I was like done. I was like, this has changed the game, and that was when I kind of let R&B influence kind of come into my music. I was like 12 or 13, but it was a big difference. So I think that's probably the album that I've played the most in my whole life. I even have like the songbook, like the kind that you play on the piano. Like I have it. I have the movie. I have the soundtrack.
I have
the
lots
book.
of songbooks. I have no idea how to play the piano.
Well, listen, we got to get you over. We want to hear something live from you. So tell the folks at home how they can get your music and how they can contact you.
Yeah, sure. I am all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything as EJ Carey or at EJ Carey Music. You can get Loaded Question on iTunes, Bandcamp, Amazon, Google Play. It's up for streaming on Spotify, Tidal, and it's up on SoundCloud. Also, it's pretty much anywhere. If you Google EJ Carey, you're going to find me. I'm the one
Beautiful.
with the red hair.
Very
You'll see me.
nice.
Okay, well, listen, we can only do one better than this, and we're going to get EJ up, and we're going to have her play live. So
Can't wait.
Great.
bear with us, and EJ will be with you live momentarily.
Shannon Gates is the #1 fence provider on Long Island, with the most inventory in stock, including vinyl, chain link, and aluminum. Gates offers a custom powder-coated system that prevents rust throughout the life of the fence. We carry fence tools to the trade. We even stock wood, rail, and glass hardware as well. Shannon Gates has our very own patented locking system. The next time you need fencing of any sort, both commercial and private, give Shannon Gates a call at 631-392-4330. You can also visit our website at shannongatesinc.com.
Hi, I'm EJ Carey. This is my best friend Jake Patterson, and we're going to play a song from my album called Over and Out. How many times must I get over myself? Tally the lines and the space runs out like the color from my face every time I open my mouth. And what will it take for my blood to flow without boiling or freezing or draining out till I'm pale and pathetic like waterless clouds? I'm aware and I know that cold fronts come and go, and you can't feel the sun if you've never felt snow. But my hands have grown cold and I'm thinking I should let go. I'm over being tricked into thinking someone's listening, watching somewhere close under my nose, as it typically goes. Oh, when but my time has been spent, so I'm over buying, over lying to myself that if the shoe fits I can run. I'm clearly done, over and out. Not once but twice did I get involved with the shadiest business. I could have sworn that he started it up. All it's done is left me worn. And not once but twice did he return to square one. From him entirely this was born in his head. Now it's dead with the birth certificate torn. Yes, I know, I'm aware that maybe nothing's there, and for the longest time, oh, not once did I care. But he led me here, does he know that it's unfair? I'm over being tricked into thinking someone's listening, watching over and out. Thank you.